Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Want to get right into it. Happy Saturday, April 6th, 2024. Hope you're having an amazing weekend. Doing whatever you're doing with whomever, however, wherever. It's pretty late on Saturday, so it's quite possible that this might not post until Sunday. But we here, right? Nonetheless. Let's see. Oh, world card. Love it. World card to start. That's celebration is in order for some amazing cycle that's been completed. Could have made some big accomplishment or surmounted some great feat, brought a dramatic cycle to an end and a close, and now you're poised for a new beginning in some way, shape, or form. I'm hearing graduation, even though I know it's not quite time for that yet, right? Because what is this, April? Yeah, we're still about a month away from when graduation season starts. But clearly having graduated in some way, shape, or form, probably more spiritually than anything, some new level of ascension, transcendence, triumph, but certainly the biggest point of celebration is having brought something to a close in a very practical sense, because the world card does also represent the 3D world with Saturn energy and yeah, right? Is that right? Am I right on that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, or maybe I don't know, I'm hearing it could be something online as well. I don't know how that would kind of weave into it, but it could have something to do with an online achievement or something that's being displayed or celebrated online. Maybe some public recognition for your success. I would like to say to definitely make sure that you or this could be on the horizon. Maybe it hasn't quite happened yet, but this is a culmination that you're coming into. So one thing I would like to say, especially when you make strides in your life, is to make sure you celebrate those achievements before you just jump into, okay, what's next, or what now, Definitely take the time to appreciate your progression, your advancement, to really reflect upon who you needed to be to have this success, whatever it may be, or get this job done, or come to this present point. And really allow that to sit in, because sometimes allowing that resonance to permeate your being is more of an empowerment and a power up than just always being on ready to jump into the next thing. Like sometimes you kind of can take that force, fuel, and residue from one big achievement, and it almost like propels you forward in ways that you don't maybe have to work quite as hard to do so otherwise, when you just figure, when you kind of just like, set that aside, like, okay, I graduated, cool, now I got to get a job, or now, or I got this big promotion, all right, now what am I going to do with it? Like, what achievements am I going to make in this position? Or, like, never really stopping to smell the roses is what I'm trying to say. That's a part of the experience. The most fantastic part is the sensational piece, right? We as human beings that are sensational creatures have that privilege for that very purpose. That's that spirit of celebration and and sensationalism, you know, not to take that for granted. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Well, let's see what's on the bottom. Yeah, exactly. Nine of Pentacles. Stop and smell the roses. Enjoy what you've created. Celebrate yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Thank those that helped you get where you are. Appreciate the moment for what it is. Like, savor the moment. Yeah, savor the moment. Ooh, I like that. I hope I remember that. That might, well, we'll see where this goes. But I feel something on that title, like really savor the moment of your success. However that gets to unfold or blossom at this time is happening if it hasn't already. Don't let it pass you by, or don't let it wash over you without really appreciating it and acknowledging it and yourself for what it all is and what it means. Beautiful. Let's see where we at. Somebody's in the Five of Cups. That's not savoring the moment. That's somebody crying over spilled milk. So I, with all that I said, and with the Nine of Pentacles, I guess it just matters as to where you are with all of this. But I also do love that I put this behind the World card, because this could actually be the cycle that was completed, or what closure was achieved here with the Five of Cups. This spirit of despair and shame and guilt and disappointment, and just a very dense world. Maybe that's what we're closing the door on, the density of reality for something far more lighthearted and liberating. That makes sense. What's on the bottom? Tower card. Wow. Well, somebody's in. Okay. So somebody has something to. There's I almost said to mourn. Somebody feels in mourning over some situation, but this may or may not be you. This, again, could even be a triumphant reflection over traumas and what was the word I just heard? Tragedies in the past that maybe inflicted this energy of the Five of Cups. So there is probably a bit of a duality here, and I'm really trying to keep it on the upswing, because energetically, you know, it is what it is, and the messages come how they do. But, you know, even as the cards are reading, it's time to move away from this Five of Cups energy. Like, there is no impending tragedy. The shock and awe of life gets to be just how magnificent it all is in that Nine of Pentacles, where things are just happening favorably and seamlessly and almost effortlessly, you know, to some degree, because of all the work that you've done to overcome some grim and dire circumstances, perhaps at some point in time. Low spiritual energy, low force fuel, and sudden drastic changes and chaotic moments of change in your life that you may have you never really had a chance to prepare for at times, but somehow you still. Here's the point of celebration. Maybe this is why it's coming up, is to really recognize what all you overcame to get to this point of evolution, where you are moving forward into something more easeful, a more easeful experience of life. That this is what gets to be left behind. And these are the things, as I said, celebrating all of the moments, all of the things, all of the people that got you to where you are. This is a part of that celebration. You know, it's not reflected upon with any remorse or regret. It's also in gratitude for helping you to evolve and progress to this point of prominence here, to be able to look back at something past tense and look forward to something quite promising with the World card. That's high vibrational energy here. So let's see what else we got. Oop. Protecting your energy, yeah, standing your ground on the decisions that you've made to get to this point and what you've learned about yourself, about life, about who you are, about what you're capable of, what you're worthy to receive, what you're leaving behind. Okay, definitely not, is it the same thing? Yeah, Two of Pentacles maybe, but leaving behind imbalance on account of these circumstances that were less favorable or unsavory in many ways. Yeah, like things may try to creep up and challenge your present point, your posture as it is, or even try to interfere with you in a celebratory place right now, or just in a very stabilized energetic space where you're pleased with who you are and what your choices in life at this point. Past, present, and looking forward again to a promising future. There are energies that may want to challenge that truth for you, but you'll balance it well. You know, you've done more with less is what I'm hearing with the Two of Pentacles. So to have now even more affirmation and confirmation of your progress, you know, and exactly why you would be right to stand on the foundation that you have fortified for yourself. That's even more added value to your confidence, or it should be, you know, still a matter of choice, of course, but it should lend to your strength and your empowerment. Because like I said, you stood firmly with less evidence, less resource, less support, more turmoil, more chaos, and somehow still you were resilient enough to come out not just alive, but assured and certain of who you are. So if you could do that with less, you can certainly do that and more with more. Yeah, there's some energies that may want to try to pull you back. Yeah, exactly. To pull you back into the trenches, and it's just not, it's a no-go. This is past energy here. There's absolutely no reason to return to despair with the Five of Pentacles. And giving way to what I said, where you've done more with less, you know, like when you did feel out of touch with your spiritual nature, maybe you were actually struggling materially, spiritually, energetically, literally just scratching to survive here with the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, that spiritual despair and material despair. So it might have been stressful to keep your head above water psychologically, emotionally, and also on account of how stable or not so much you were able to be, you know, as we know, that foundational point of security and stability is connected to our material world and how we're able to provide for ourselves, protect ourselves, sustain ourselves. All of that, you know, could have been a great strain and a stress. So yeah, this is definitely big crossover with the five. So this is really a celebration over lack and insecurity. Yeah, poverty spirit and poverty mind. Well, that's that. And to come out with on the world card, I mean, like I said, you work that thing out. Like you made $1 out of 15 cents in terms of security and stability, and still kept your spirit intact, your passion from perversion here with the 7 of Wands, because you could have been swayed and seduced in some ways to stray from your purest passion, you know, or even to just give up altogether, you know, to really just surrender, like say to hell with it all, and either go with the grain, you know, go along to get along, or literally just dissolve into the despair. And you didn't, because the evidence is here with the 7 of Wands. What's on the bottom here? Wow, this was the influence to sink into your lower nature, to live purely for survival purposes, to do something strange for some change, to sacrifice your soul, your integrity, for the purposes of so-called stability and security, let alone for affluence or influence, or by the darker influences for affluence or prominence or position, power, money, anything. It's just carnal, primal satisfaction. As I said, like we're here to experience the sensation of life. There is no guilt and shame for that indulging. It's a matter of balance, though. So to overindulge in that primal sensationalism is where the entrapment lies. And there were plenty of opportunities, particularly with not having much, to find yourself in that ensnarement, and you you got out. Like the devil pulled out all the stops to trip you up and trap you up. And what I mean, if in the Bible it speaks of the temptation of Jesus, and we know that temptation is only so if it's something that you actually would want to have, or that would be, you know, a point of, it would be alluring for you. So that means that you had opportunities that could have been quite convincing, as I said, to either give up or to betray yourself and your supreme self moreover, but even your primal nature to be lower than, you know, into more of your, to fall more into a demonic spirit of determination just to keep your head above water. Like you didn't do that. You averted that perversion and averted that temptation. An aversion of temptation to sacrifice your soul. And that is a great feat. It feels like that's probably why I was saying earlier, like, appreciate yourself, celebrate yourself, as the what is that, Parks and Recreation, when he says treat yourself. Treat yourself, you know, really, and treat yourself kindly and gracefully, if nothing else, because this wasn't easy. This was not easy to come out alive, let alone to come out enlivened and empowered, confident enough to stand your ground when you feel like the world is against you still. Celebrate yourself. And what I didn't finish saying is, I think I was feeling guided to say, you know, don't just jump into the next thing without, you know, having over having acquired such a great success and like, okay, now what's next? What do I need to do? Like, no, you did a lot. You did a lot. You did a lot. And there must be something powerful about really acknowledging that truth for yourself and to yourself. So as I said, that could be the empowering force to help you to continue to stand your ground against opposition or resistance, which makes it less impactful and impressionable, right? It doesn't even feel much like a fight when you just know that you know that you know, like, no, I'm doing the right thing. I'm in the right place. I'm being exactly who I'm called to be. This is, now I understand. It was harder to really see those truths and to stand firm on them in this spirit of energy, or in this deficit of energy, I should say, with the world against you. And that Two of Pentacles is exactly what I mean, that you still did it when there was more against you and less for you. Now it's important for you to really see the evidence of what you've overcome, how you've triumphed against those odds, so that it can empower you that much more to feel like invincible. So that there really is no real enemy here except yourself, if you choose to be so. That there really is no competition and no true enemy to fear, which is all that this energy would want you to do. Is to be at odds with yourself about your own strength, your own potential, your own power. 4 Wands. Yeah, rest. Exactly. Rejuvenate, revive. Stay in that spirit of peace. Like you deserve that. You don't even have to be as defensive as you once were, or may even have needed to be, energetically speaking, where it was like you literally felt like you had to hold up, to really defend yourself physically. Security looks different now than it did before. And I think you get to see that when you take the time to really reflect. See how the World card is kind of looking back. It's a reflection time here with Mercury in retrograde, with the eclipse season that we're, in the thick of right now, building up to the 8th of the solar eclipse. Is really an opportunity for you to see how amazing you are, to really allow that to really pierce through to you, so that you don't feel like you have to be so defensive, so on guard, at least not in the way that you used to be. It's like the spirit of peace and prayer here, and meditation, even restfulness as guided, is in fact protective. To preserve your strength, to preserve your energy, conserve your creativity for where it matters most, not having to use all of your creative juices toward trying to figure out how to keep your head above water or get out of some disparaging energy. Now it's all about moving forward and building and, advancing and expanding. You don't have to, it's not the same strength. It's a different type of energy here that we're talking about. And I feel like it's important to say that, because that muscle memory of defense may still be heightened on account of what has been experienced, which is again why it's important to take the time to appreciate the moment of triumph, when you see it, when you feel it, when you know it to be true. Hell, it might be right now. just as I, under the sound of my voice, just recognizing like, damn, yeah, I overcame a lot, and not having really like giving yourself the credit for it, or allowed yourself to, because some part of us, especially spiritually speaking, we are conditioned to kind of deflect credit and accolades and appreciation beyond our physical being to some intangible source. And it doesn't mean that we don't give reverence to the intangible sources and forces that fuel us, that support us, that protect us, and all of that good stuff that we are empowered by, even if you believe so. But sometimes it's like, like you forget about you. You forget that you actually had to be the one to do the walking and the talking and the living through this experience, to actually survive and then thrive on account of some tremendous odds. You actually had to do that. Well, you didn't even have to, but it was a privilege and an honor. You got to do that, and you could have said no, as I said earlier. You could have surrendered to the dark force of you exclusively and succumbed to it. Could have been completely sunken by it, unrecognizably so in the spirit, to not be able to come to this point of celebration and success, to not be graduating, like it's kind of like in school where and I can attest to this because at my school, I went to Drexel University, and sometimes people didn't graduate, or they didn't graduate on time, and it not always wasn't on account of like, a lot of times it was for financial reasons. Hear me out, like sometimes Drexel's a private school, so they had a way of finagling resources, particularly for my minority brethren. It wasn't uncommon for people to fall off because they couldn't pay their tuition, they couldn't get another loan or whatever. Praise be to God and my grandmother, who would co-sign on a couple of loans for me, private loans, to get out of school. Otherwise, I might be in that number as well. But I digress. The point is, it's like, where I was going with this is that, sometimes when you're in school, like, it's not guaranteed you're going to make it out with that degree or diploma. And a lot of people fall by the wayside, as I said, for many different reasons. But it's like the difference between those that played around in school, that, didn't really take it seriously. And let me digress again and say that I was more social. It was more of a social experience for me than it was educational. As brilliant as I am, I could have come out with a better GPA if I was more astute in my discipline, or discipline in my studies, I should say. But nonetheless, another way that I was favored and blessed, of course, because I still made it out on time, even having changed my major halfway through, more than halfway through. But some people don't, you may have to take an extra semester or an extra year past your original graduation date. And it's like, recognizing that, me saying that even in this moment is it brings to mind certain folks that I know for a fact still have not received their degree from Drexel on account of many different situations, So it's like, you have to allow yourself to celebrate, because one way or another, whether it be by faith, by favor, by fortune, or by I don't know. I was looking for another F word, but really speaking to like your own diligence, your own discipline. There were some that to this day are still trying to figure out what's next. and are a little bit left behind. So shall we say, a little stuck, waiting to matriculate in some way, shape, or form. But somehow here you are, cap and gown, diploma in hand, ready to face the new world. It must be celebrated. It must be acknowledged for the achievement that it is, because it's not a small one. It's not. It's like if you would have graduated and there was no ceremony and there was no diploma, there's no acknowledgement of it. You don't get no cap and gown, no pictures, no pomp and circumstance. It's just like, oh yeah, great, good. Now, but moving on, it's like, it's kind of like anticlimactic. It doesn't really make you feel achieved or empowered to now move on to whatever is next, to go out and get that good job or do whatever else the hell you feel empowered to do. Like, that's kind of the point of the celebration. So I feel like it's no different in the spirit, is all that I'm saying. And honestly, you may not receive that pomp and circumstance from people that you would want to, people that are close to you, family, friends, even, co-workers or acquaintances, partners, hell. And in that case, you might want to really consider who you're surrounding yourself by as to, their true relevance and value in your life. But the point of the matter is, you may not receive it where you would want to receive it most in this regard. It may be a singular celebration, but it matters all the same, and maybe even more so. That might be this representation here with the Seven of Wands, that it matters that you understand how elevated you are in this moment, how achieved, how accomplished you are for all that you've overcome. People might still look at you like, what are you doing? What is the plan here? What is your purpose? Like, what are you thinking? Like, where is this going? That people still may not get it as clear cut as it is with, you go to school, you're on your way to some type of degree or accomplishment, diploma, something. That there's a end goal there. Some people still might not be able to recognize that for what it has been up. They may not. A lot of times, especially with spiritual work and achievement, people don't have the slightest clue as to the work that you had to put in just to be where you are. And that's just simply alive for some of us, let alone to actually be alive and well. So you can't really expect for anybody else to be cheering you down the aisle or as you walk across that stage any more than spirit is, which may be inaudible or intangible in some ways, but you get to do it for yourself, and you get to not miss the moments that do materialize in the physical material form to reflect to you just how proud. Oh, this is deep. I was literally just praying this one before I pressed record. Thank you, Spirit. That is confirmation from me. And I was saying, like, I know that I'm making the divine proud. I know it. And I literally said, like, I know that I don't need to be affirmed in that knowing at this time, although I am grateful for all the ways that I am going to be affirmed in that regard, that it will materialize to me in my eyes, in my hands, upon my person, in my surroundings, in my environment, just how well done I am regarded, as a servant to the supreme source and force of all. I literally was just praying that. So this is speaking to me now, like, to know that you know is one thing. Celebrate that, but certainly in the ways that it is deflected to you in a practical sense, don't just take that for granted and like, like, oh, okay, that's cool. Every single way that the divine is showing you, like, you the one, you get to receive that in spirit and in truth. That's exactly going, and it's the point, like I said, it's the point of empowerment for the future, for what is next, of which you don't even have to, according to this, worry your pretty little head about. Just stay prayed up, meditated up, in peace, whatever it is you do to stay grounded. You ain't even got to worry about what's next. What's most important is what's now. And that's more so what you've overcome. Oh, shoot, I ain't even look at this. Wow. 10 of Pentacles, like I said, like the materialization of your reward, your recognition, your honor. This is that diploma. This is that amazing job after your 4 or 5 hard, I went to a 5-year school, 4 or 5 hard years of hard work and dedication. More for some, of course, you know, for sure. This is that stable relationship after committing to yourself and your own personal healing, committing to your creativity to your ideas, as opposed to necessarily giving all your creative juices to some corporation thanklessly. You know, it's like all of that, the sacrifices that you made on that didn't pan out to be immediately gratifying at first are now coming out in the wash. And as I said, everybody's not standing and cheering. Everybody doesn't understand. Everybody doesn't appreciate. Hell, everybody is not happy to see it. It's just what it is. Some people feel you should have done it differently, or could have done it differently, or they could do it better, or you don't deserve it, or it could be a lot of opposition here with the 7 of Wands. But rest your mind, rest assured that you are exactly at the place that you're supposed to be. And from this confirmation here with the 10 of Pentacles, it's not even just going to be a matter of, let me pat myself on the back, yeah, job well done. No, you're going to know that the universe is well pleased with your service. Well pleased. Because this is the materialization of such a response. Seven of Cups here, and I'm not going to be too long. I'm going to actually do this right here because we're not going to be long at all. 7 of Cups, what's underneath? Star card. Wow, having healed from confusion, illusions that have been projected, that have been, I just heard contracted. Interesting. Like a damn disease. Oh, wow. Emotional disease, that's what that is. Having healed from that in a very supreme way. Like, again, it's no small feats here in this reading. This is like ultimate healing, answering to your highest calling, your highest, to your personal destiny, again, amidst great, perhaps controversy is what I'm hearing, but surely opposition and opinions, maybe even criticism, resistance, distractions, sabotage, destruction, a lot of forces that could have been fatal, and probably by all rights should have been fatal, which is why sometimes I feel like there's like a defiance of gravity with the Star card, because it's like you don't look like what you've been through type of energy. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't have come through it. You shouldn't have survived it. Most people wouldn't have, even those that sometimes find themselves as the what do you call it, offenders or afflictors. I don't think that's a word, but you know what I mean. The ones on the offense of certain inflictions wouldn't have been able to come out of it or sustain themselves the way that you have, which is what makes you a marvel. even beyond the celestials. Like, you're a marvel unto those that have watched you and maybe had a lot to say about you and what you do, and they still can't quite wrap their minds around how the hell, yeah, this might even be them in confusion, like, how the hell is she still shining? How the hell is he still smiling? Still pursuing their goals, still having hope for the future, still faithful to believe that there's more than what they've seen or what they've been surrounded by. It's like people put in a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to try to keep you from reaching this prominent position, which is, again, why it's so important for me to stress that you celebrate. It's like how I'm saying about Drexel. Now, I'm not calling Drexel racist, and I've been out of school for damn near what? I was 18. I'm sorry, I was 18 when I went. I was 23 when I left. So it's been almost 2 whole decades since I've been out. So it could be a completely different environment and institution at this point. But what I will say is that a lot of minorities struggle to get out of that school and of a certain socioeconomical class as well. But not minorities nonetheless, I saw struggle more than I knew of anything else. Which could just be the causum of the system overall, of education as it is, not particular to Drexel itself. But the point where I was going, I think, is that it's still a phenomenon to have made it out to some degree. And I think I was saying that a lot of energy has been placed to be in opposition to that, evolution, what I mean, to that outcome, in the spirit sense is all the same. But I was talking about it with Drexel, how a lot of my minority friends, I know some still that have not received their degree. And the system was kind of like strange like that. It's been rigged up that way. And I'm not saying that that's exclusively to minorities, not at all, but to celestial beings who probably are the minority in this realm, those that have answered the call and have activated the will to respond righteously to that beacon. Yeah, it's not a lot of that. It's not a lot of those. It's growing more and more every day as we continue to be examples for one another and inspirations to one another. But certainly it's been intentional to keep this energy from evolving and emerging for very diabolical purposes. So again, if you are here and recognizing that you are here and what energy you are committed to, even if you don't feel you have quite achieved a certain transcendence or ascendance, the point of will and passion is just as to do so and to be so is just as important as the achievement itself, whatever that even means or looks like, if it even is a thing or a destination or a point of completion, as it would be a diploma or a degree. This is eternal matriculation as it stands, as a matter of fact, that it never ends. It only continues to go higher and higher. And so even being a willing, to submit yourself to that experience alone is star quality, is high vibrational, to not need to know when there's a starting point or what's the destination or how long or where to. It's like just knowing that the inspiration is to be supreme, at every step, at every stage, in this present moment, and forevermore. Yeah, like everybody ain't on that. If everybody was, the world would look much different. Hell, everybody's not even wanting to be a celebrity, which is the most superficial and artificial expression of what I just said. To just be seen and noticed and have power and influence by societal standards. Imagine by celestial standards. Totally different ball game. Three of Cups. Yeah. Sometimes that means leaving the party early or not going at all. You know, the Five of Cups is that energy that's looking at those Three of Cups like, damn, they still want to be a part of the, you know, the fanfare, of the debauchery, the illusion of, what was that? That was weird. It kind of sounds like fireworks, but that would be very strange for right now. Let me see what we got here. You know what? I don't think I looked at the bottom for the Seven of Cups, did I? I don't think I did. I forgot. Six of Cups is like equal give and take. Could be gifts. But in the frequency that I'm speaking of it, it's like to feel privileged, to feel and it's like sometimes I call it like fake justice, because it's like this illusion of affluence. Again, as I said, like prestige and clout and influence and all that, you know, the stuff that social media is made for. To vlog how great of a vacation we had so everyone can see, instead of actually having a great vacation. You know, like spending more time on the presentation of the experience than actually experiencing the experience itself, or the presentation of life. Back to what I was saying, like the sensationalism of the human experience, even as a spiritual being. Like, not everybody gets to do that. Think about that when you consider the spirits that have come and gone. And I don't know how it gets to be in that transmission truly yet. But, you know, not everybody is living the life that we are privy to at this moment. Depending on how you look at it, you might not think very much of it. But for me, I feel like this is a wonderful time to be alive. Truly. Literally a point of celebration. Like, it don't get no better than this from what has been, with all the promise and possibilities that we're at the precipice of, you know, like right here, right now. So I guess it just depends on how you look at it, but certainly in connection with these two here, like this is the illusion of celebration, not the actual experience of it. Wanting others to see how great of a life you're living, but it matters that actually is true for your own good, you know, not for anybody else's, of course, because you're the one that actually has to live the life. And that phony, fake ass life, you know, that illusionary force is not what fuels you to actually make achievements that matter, that are sustainable, that are impactful for, you know, the long run, to reach that star status, you know, truly in the star card of healing and fulfillment and wishes granted and accomplished, you know, being who you feel designed to be, not just projecting that persona. Yeah. So like I said, as I said with college, everybody ain't on that. Everybody ain't graduating. Everybody doesn't see the you know, the long-term view. It's just a right now, or it was a very, you know, immediate gratification of, like I said, some people in college just were there to party and have a good time. And when it all came down to it in the end, it's like, shit, now I got to go an extra semester, or now I got to do another year, or whatever. Hierophant here. What's at the bottom for the Hierophant? Wow. Yeah, Lover's card. Choices. What's that? Wow. The Empress. This is amazing. Wow. What does it mean? We got 555 here. Let's get into that. Big changes on the board. And under the World card, making total sense, where the shift from these more structured establishments, and well, the structure that was anti-creativity, you know, pure creativity, that's what's shifting. It still gets to be, you know, education, business, entertainment, religion, what, you know, those pillars, government. It still gets to be something. It still gets to exist, but it's taken on a new shape. It has spirit now. It's reinvigorated with spirit now, not just on the cold, hard, you know, spirit of, or not even spirit, but like ambition for achievement and prominence and power and dominance and money and material gain and influence, you know, the worldly stuff. This is the world now perhaps being rejuvenated or regenerated to its natural form, or just maybe just a more spiritual essence. Yeah, I would say natural with the Lover's card here. Yeah, and then with the Empress, that being the regenerative force here, the reproductive source, that this is what we are moving into. Organic beings, natural, authentic, spiritually affluent and influenced and inspirational and impactful, not the other stuff, not the cold, hard, shiny stuff. Something more soft and fluid and light is the shift that's taking place here. That's cool. All right, couple more. Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands. This is unbridled passion, ambition, drive, not being stifled by the callous of society, the confinement of society, no longer being able to be controlled and manipulated by those forces. This is like a rebellion against it. Wow. But passionately so, not so much aggressively as it is about passion. Like, again, right up under that standing your ground, where there may be pushback, there may be resistance. It's like the Knight of Wands is not going to be held back by that. It's an appropriate response in this regard. It's what you would want to, the energy you would want to be in and would want to see coming, if it's a matter of an energy championing for you or in your favor against the system that has been corrupted, that has been corrupted to suppress pure passion and then conduct that commodity for its own mechanical purposes with very little return or reward to those that it's sourced to do so. Meaning, like, the people that fuel our society are the most are the ones that receive the least in return. And that's shifting, that's turning over. People are taking their power back and operating in that function without restriction. And in this case, that's a good thing. Sometimes the Knight of Wands is like, whoa, what's he gonna do? It's like, and that's the energy, because it's like it can't be predicted because it's very personal and individual, but it also can't be controlled anymore. That's the best part. It might be a little wild at first as people are kind of getting their bearings straight, figuring out what they can do, what they shouldn't do, like trial and error a bit as to like how empowered you truly are to create your reality, to really bring your passion to life. But certainly it's safer in your hands, contrary to the powers that were beliefs. It's safer in your hands as the ascended being that you are than it would be in someone else's hands to use for you or decide how it gets to be used. That is where the corruption began, by others feeling like they know better and they would do better with your energy and your creativity than you would. And then they get so intoxicated by that sheer power and control, first off, but also by the infusion of that life force, how enlivening it is to the senses, that it's hard with that devil energy card to wean your way off and to not meddle and not manipulate and not monopolize in ways that are unjustifiable. And that's how the power ultimately, rears its head to beyond the control of the forces that wielded it. It becomes a mechanism and a monster all itself. And that's when the universe has to come in and regulate everything. Like, this is going too far. This is too much. Power to the people. The people are the power. And that's why this transference of energy and wealth is currently underway. And as I said, everybody didn't make it through the trial and error to get to this point, to realize this reality in the flesh. So yes, it is a moment of celebration. 6 of Wands. A moment of victory and celebration. And perhaps, again, recognition for you just being you. Doing what you do. And maybe even for having what you have. As I said, it's going to be very visible how, rewards and recognition is being dispersed to the point where you may be blessed in such a way that it may be hard to hide. So get ready. Talk about publicity. It may not even be what you want for yourself, but it's what's needed, again, as I said, in spirit and in truth, because the point is for you to be that star example, of what it looks like to be in devotion to your supreme self. Like, not just the ideal. Imagine, like, most of the time people don't really get into the spiritual stuff or even religion because it's like, there's no evidence. There's there's nothing to really like there's no sign for the wonder. It's just more wonder. It has been more wonder than it's been sign. And now being set apart to be a sign and a wonder, where people will see the evidence of divinity in your life on you by what you've achieved, by what you've accomplished, what you acquired, the life that you live, the family that you raise, the legacy that you leave, whatever. And it creates the wonder as to like, well, what are you doing? How does that work? And how can I do it too? And then more and more people begin to matriculate and graduate, like that's the idea here. And like I said, it may take some a little longer than others, but certainly as long as there's breath in the body, even for those, as I said, peers still that may not have a diploma, they still got time, or maybe they got it elsewhere and transferred their credits. I don't know. I don't even think you could do that though when you owe money. That's the other effed up part. But point blank period, there's always time until there isn't. Wow, Ace of Swords. And you know what? I'm going to leave it there. I was going to do a couple more, but I'm going to just leave it right there. One more confirmation is needed. Ace of Swords. Living in truth, clarity, divine truth, like ultimate truth of yourself, for yourself, of your surroundings, of the life that you live, and being the champion, the warrior for that truth. And it doesn't mean that you are an enemy of the state or even of society. It just means that you are a warrior for your own cause, your own creativity. And there's no crime against that. Definitely no spiritual crime if you ain't hurting nobody to do it. It's been criminalized energetically in the system that we have all submitted ourselves to. But even that is shifting. People are being exonerated every single day and liberated to finally be sovereign spirits in this realm. It's time. And you know what I didn't get to talk about? I did post something on the community tab, but it's funny because I did my video yesterday after it actually occurred. But the earthquake in New Jersey that resonated all the way through New York, and they say even Delaware and Philly, and somebody said New Hampshire felt some tremors or something. It's like ground shaking change, earth shattering change. It's no longer containable. And we, the people, as I said, power to the people are the power. We, the people, are the ones that are inciting this change. That's why it's because, and we've always been the majority. So as long as we've been rocked to sleep, shout out to Dolo the pilot man who says that a lot. As long as we've allowed ourselves to be rocked to sleep is as long as these not well-meaning powers could continue to assume their positions of authority. And that monster of a maleficent force could continue to grow. But the moment we decided to collectively awaken, as we are more and more and more every day, is the moment that power dynamic shifted, and now it's shifting almost completely out of the hands of those that would want at all costs to maintain it. So just know that no matter what it's looking like, what projections are reverberated against natural evolution and the nature of divine ordinance right now, like you stand your ground. You stand your ground. Because the truth is the most stable place to be. The most truthful king in the deck in the upright. That's a double confirmation there. Wow. King of Swords, expert in the fields, CEO, agent, top, top of top of his craft, ingenious energy, one of one, when you're operating in the function that you've been designed to do so. Of course, this could be anybody. It doesn't matter the sign or the element. It's a matter of knowing who you are, what you've been designed to be, do, and have, and operating in the function of that truth every day, no matter what. No matter the interference, the opposition, the distraction, the deterrence, the detour, the destruction, the delays, which most of that is behind us now anyway. This is truly the matriculation of this energy here with the King of Swords. Like, as I'm about to put it up here, up under this Hierophant, it's like the dean giving you your diploma here. That's what that's given. Yeah, amidst what? A great struggle. Another 10. I'm going to put this over here to content to stay on this side with this energy, because this is not what is. This is what was. This is what we get to choose to release. And for many of us have chosen to lay hella burdens down that don't have nothing to do with us, that are not our loads to carry, not our worries, not our responsibility, not fair for us to, like the Knight of Wands is not championing the cause, fighting everybody else's battles. Now he's fighting for his own life at this point, and much less aggressively than creatively. This is the battle that just continue to become more and more of a stress and strain, carrying on this 10 of Wands, the pressure to be something that you're not, to operate in a function that you were never designed to do so, to answer to standards that were never spiritually sound, that were never fair, that were never balanced, that were never even righteous. It's like releasing all of those illusions and lies and falsehoods and facades and appearances and grievances and the like everything that does not add to the prominence of your purest passion and the expression of your supreme truth. It's no matter now. It literally has no relevance. It's like we took a whole bunch of classes and courses that we didn't never even really need to graduate. Now it's added to the experience of education, is maybe added to the value of your personal knowledge. But a lot of stuff that we majored in as people, as celestial beings, as spirits having a human experience, we never even needed to register for. It's like somebody else signed us up for the class and we just took it. Got an A in it for most of us, or at least passed for many of us. But it's like we didn't even really need it. But now we've matriculated. We have graduated into the real world, where we can now express our energy in the authentic way that it was always designed to be so. But of course, in gratitude for all the ways that this education has enhanced that very experience, good, bad, or indifferent. It has. It all has. Even what we don't think we were supposed to take and probably weren't, it's still been an enhancement for our personal and collective evolution. So here we are. Congratulations to us all, one and all, no matter where you are. Congratulations for being at this point of presence where, if nothing else, you could hear this message and make a decision today to graduate. No matter how long it takes, how much effort, how much dedication, there's always the opportunity to advance as long as you have the breath and the energy to do so. So, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.